Hey guys, I'm JR, GT Motor Cars. I'm here with one of my best friends, Philip Richter from Hollow Brook Wealth Management. And Philip and I are doing this little podcast conversation to just give a little background on the financial markets, the car market, and what's happening.
Yeah, great to be here. And I think the unique thing about what we're doing here is it's spontaneous. We have not sat down.
There's no script.
Yeah, the idea is to talk about things that are real live issues now, but also that tie back into the market's history.
Correct.
To kind of make sense of where we are now in the market.
Yeah, and we don't have all the answers, but we're not like saying this is going to happen. We're just bringing up things to think about, A, as a consumer, B, as a collector.
Well, as an expert in the market.
Yeah, for sure, but from us, the experts in our fields. So just a little podcast conversation, and hope you guys enjoy it.
So JR, I'm really curious because, we all have cars we love, certain models. Like
yes.
I'm looking at your split window coupe there that you did with your dad,
yeah.
right? You'll have that forever. Cars that we grew up with that actually might not even be that valuable today, but they're valuable to you.
To you, yeah,
right?
sentimental piece.
Exactly. Like I have a completely mint condition CJ7, right? End of the line Jeep CJ.
Yeah.
I had one in high school. It's just a cool car, right? Not valuable, but valuable to me.
Correct.
Where do you think we go in the next 10 years as far as what would you say is going to be the most valuable model, the most popular models, not necessarily the most expensive models, like what cars are going to be in demand? And on the higher end of the spectrum, why is there all this talk about Ferrari, LaFerrari this, and Enzo that, and 280 GTO this, and Diablo that, and no one's talking about the 959? Like, this is weird to me, right? Like,
I've had 959s. I think they're, from a collection standpoint, I think they're amazing cars now because the car was so far ahead of its time, and I believe they lost, what, 400,000 per car?
Yeah, there was a total
when they were building them?
Yeah. They were a statement car. They wanted to say, we are the best.
But I think the car was so over-engineered. Right. When it's a very unassuming car, unexciting car to drive, like just to drive around. Like it doesn't scare you enough.
It's so good at what it does.
Like you get in a GTO.
But it's not super powerful.
No, not crazy powerful.
In the period it was.
Correct. But you get in a GTO, okay, the similar time period, built for the same purpose, right, for Group B. Like, once that car is warmed up, but if you're out on a cool, crisp day, I had ours out a few weeks ago, and I let a customer drive it, and he never driven one, and it blew away his expectations. The car was sideways. Right. He's like, oh my God, I had no clue. You got a 959, you're not getting that car sideways.
Right.
But it's also, I think, from what I've seen in Bugatti B110s, Jaguars, the XJ120s.
Yes.
Okay, and I'm sorry, the XJR 15s and all this stuff. You're seeing this from a maintenance perspective. Who could service it? Who could work on it?
Well, Canepa's doing all these reimagining a 959.
Yeah, you got to send your car out there. There's a 280 GTO.
But then you're not going to have a car that's what it was.
Correct.
Like if you're going to make a 959 into a Singer effectively, you've lost what it was, right? Like
you're seeing a little bit of that resto ride. And I don't know how long that resto ride stuff stays in flavor. Ask me in 10 years. I guess it's
Well, that's another good question. Like, will Singers hold value
on the long
become
term
from 1 million now to 3 million?
I don't know. Yeah, that's an interesting question. But just to tie back, I think so. Like a 280 GTO, you can go get serviced anywhere, any Ferrari dealership. Show up with a 959 at a Porsche dealership.
They don't know what to
outside
do
of Jacksonville, which is the old Brumhouse, or Champion, the big stores. So they're going to look at you and not even know what to do, and then try to get parts. We've had them done. So you have to go to really a couple independents, to get them done, like a Canepa, like a Road Scholars, like an Orbit, to get that stuff done. So I think that's what limits the value on them. But I think that's my biggest thing. I saw the Bugattis.
So
as well.
what 10 years from now? Forget it. Let's say 5 years from now. What's going to be?
What new cars today?
No. What existing cars that we would consider collectible classics? Like, is it going to be like a horse race where it's just going to be like?
I think it's anything that's really analog, and I've seen it with even the younger participants today that are coming to the market. They do want some stuff that's analog that talks to them. The cars are built today with so much computer technology and nanny aids.
They're disposable.
They are.
In a sense. Like,
yeah.
how are they going to, is a Bugatti Veyron going to run in 50 years?
Like, I'll tell you, a Veyron is really, so they have a new passport package, it's called. I think it's about $250,000, and it's a warranty that covers everything. Top to bottom, front to back, everything. Service, everything. Since that came out, those cars have gotten a bid, and I think that's one of the best, relatively speaking.
So maybe Porsche should do the same thing for the 959.
or the CGT, you know, but yeah. I think, but since the recall came out for the CGT, you're seeing those cars also had a big run. They were also way underpriced. But I think
you can get tires for them
the best car today to buy right now as we speak is a Bugatti Veyron.
Really?
Yeah. The car is amazing technology, and now with the warranty on it, it is.
Okay, what about bringing it back to earth for more normal people?
A normal person?
Yeah.
Look, I still think, you know, a Carrera GT it's one of the last real analog cars.
Okay, let's go down one more level. Not, you live in a different universe. I'm talking about someone like me who has an E30 M3 and thinks that's the king of the world.
Well, didn't you just get a new M2?
Huh? I did get I got the G87 M2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of analog car, it's actually, it's a brand new, you know, factory built, wide body, 6-speed manual, 6-cylinder, rear wheel drive only. It's fun. It's like driving an E30 M3 with 500 and something horsepower.
So I think you're starting to see some of that stuff like that is fun to drive. Like you said, like the M2, get a bid to go forward. I mean, Lexus LFAs, I would have put that in the list, you know, a month ago.
Those cars they're like $3 million.
For a Nürburgring car, I'm getting calls on cars for $3 to $3.5.
Cool car.
The car never raced. Like, it doesn't have a big history.
Right, yeah.
Amazing car, sounds amazing, but, you know, at least Ferrari has, you know, and Porsche have deep, deep race history. But, so that's an interesting question. I think you're going to see some of the newer cars, like the 296 Speciale. Yeah. They're going to have there's talks of a 296 Challenge Stradale, which is a 296 with none of the hybrid technology, all analog. I think that car is going to get traction. They're bringing the Challenge Stradale name back, so that's bringing the 360 Challenge Stradale, you know, back into focus again. So I think as they go back retro.
And what about the Porsche craze? I mean, 911s, it seems like you can't even get into a 1986 plain narrow body 911 Targa for less than $100,000 with like 90,000 miles. Like, what's going on?
I think it's because some of the new cars got so expensive. So this segment of the market that would have bought the new cars they're going backward, almost backward dating, and say, okay, what can I afford? And then as everybody in that group overprices those cars, the next group says,
but clearly that buyer's not interested in performance because those cars aren't that fast.
No, they're very, I mean, remember I bought that 89 Speedster that belonged to the Browse collection?
Yes, that was a really nice car.
And the first thing you said to me, and it looked amazing, the wide body.
Oh, these cars. I love them. They look so good, but they have no power.
Yeah, underwhelming car to drive.
Yeah.
I was totally unexcited driving it.
Yeah, but it's a cool car.
Cool car.
Yeah. I guess back in '89 it was fast enough.
Yeah, but even compared to cars that were 5 years or 10 years newer at the time, it was really kind of plain vanilla boring.
Yeah.
So, but today there's so much technology, it almost takes the fun out of driving it.
I remember that's why I like the M2, because the new M2 is like very analog.
I remember when I was, you know, in high school, you know, the Z06 came out.
Yep.
They brought the Z06 name back out from '63. It was an analog car. I mean, you had I think to me that was like, you know, my dad grew up in the '60s with the horsepower wars, with the muscle cars, Corvettes, the Shelbys, Challengers, the Cudas, Superbirds. I grew up, the Z06 came out, the Cobra R, the Vipers.
Okay, so I grew up with Vegas, Pintos, right?
Yeah.
Pacers, the Malaise era in the 70s.
Yeah, that
it was
you had the
terrible.
gas wars, emissions.
Oh, I mean.
So, but it was fun for us. I remember going out in high school, and like we'd have like car meets. We would go out and my friends, I had friends with, you know, Lancias, with Subaru STIs. So, you know, I think there's a following for JDM stuff that's gone kind of ballistic, that has its own segment. So, but you know, I had the Supers in the '90s is really the most exciting thing, and then Fast and Furious brought all this stuff out.
So a car right now that's trading today for under $500,000. What do you think? What's the best car to buy in that price level today Like, what would you buy?
You know, it's funny. If you asked me that a year ago, I'd give you a list of cars right off the bat.
Yeah, because it's shrunk because they're all now $1 million.
And those cars are $1 million.
Right.
So under 500 grand.
I mean, I don't want to talk my own book, but the SL65 Black Series is, to me, a screaming
But look
buy.
at
Screaming buy.
They were. But you just showed me two earlier.
I know
that we're close to 600 grand, if not over.
I don't know if they're trading there, but I mean, I had mine at Moda 2 weeks ago, and I had like 10 younger people come up to me and said it was the coolest car at the show of everything. And they had all the Paganis and they had all the Veyrons and all that stuff. And the kids
You know what?
crazy
I think
over it.
I would have said to you a 575 manual, just the great all-around car, but one just sold yesterday and bring a trailer. Okay, Argento, 11,000 miles. It sold for $575,575.
Okay, that's kind of funny.
Yeah. So you looked at one. You asked me when we first met 10 years ago for a 550
and you found me a great car, and I should have bought it.
Yeah, and back then they were
what are they
170,000. Now that a 550 is going to run you $300,000 to $400,000 for a good example.
For a good one.
Yeah. So when you ask, and I think that's what some people did. What could I get under this price level? That list is getting smaller.
Yeah, it's a.
You know, we've been buying at 550 Barchettas.
Yeah.
It's the last numbered Ferrari. Okay. Mm-hmm. It's an open top.
It's a cool car because it looks like a Maranello.
It's a modern day Daytona Spider. Yeah. Go down the list. Checks every box, right? Open top, 12-cylinder, manual gearbox.
Rare.
Limited production.
It's rare.
449 examples, and they were all numbered. Yeah. That's it. Yeah, we've been buying those cars like crazy. But
that's it. Is it really it? Like, Ferrari is going to go back and they're going to make 6-speed manuals again, aren't they?
So they say. Porsche, they'll say that it happened the 911R. Oh, it's going to be the last manual. Prices were going double MSRP. And then they come out with the Touring.
Yeah.
And then 911Rs on right off the cliff.
7-speed and 6-speed because the 911T is a 6-speed manual, but they also had a 7-speed for the other fancy models. Right?
So, but typically when Ferrari says that's it. But there is talks of the Icona series that's coming out.
I don't know how you could be CEO of Ferrari
and not have a manual
and say, "Oh, we don't want to sell a manual car." Like, you got to be kidding me.
Correct.
They got to know this.
I think supposedly, again, speculation, that the next Icona series will be a manual. And I have a friend of mine that works for Ferrari. If they do that,
the cars will sell out. Like,
oh, they absolutely will. But this is why the Icona series cars are getting traction, because what would be the SP4 is supposed to be a manual. They say it's supposed to have some hearkening back to the F40. I don't know. Ferrari's not big on doing retro look stuff, but it's supposed to be a manual. I have a friend of mine that was at Ferrari recently and heard a car going around Maranello, going around Fiorano, the test track, and he said it shifted like it was a manual. So it could be, but if they do that, that car will go parabolic.
I mean,
and because that might be the only manual they do. They're definitely not putting it in production cars.
Fascinating.
So
well, I mean, it's not your market, but even if we went lower on the spectrum, right? Like under $200,000, are there things out there that are either for sale now or in production that you would buy?
I think in production, I mean, really, Zero NX, Z06, is really, I think it's the best bang for the buck.
That's crazy. It's crazy.
And I think that's robbed from McLaren. Because McLaren, you're buying a car that the after sales is horrible, the service is terrible, the maintenance is ridiculous, they're not reliable.
Right.
If I'm looking at McLaren, I'm going to go save the money, buy a Z06 or Z01X and have as much of that more fun.
Yeah, and the build. I will tell you, like I did a build on one of them on the website just for fun. Not the ZR1, not the fancy one, but just a plain one. Like you lease a plain new Corvette mid-engine. The interiors are actually really nice.
Yeah, and back if you go to the C5 days, C4 days, C6 days, the biggest complaint was the interior, all plastic. But look, it's changed. They're all hand-built engines. They've really stepped up. If they did what they talked about doing in the 90s, where they were going to spin off Corvette into its own brand, I truly think it would have rivaled Ferrari today. As far as valuations and car prices.
Right, as its own brand.
Yeah, if they spun it off from Chevrolet and General Motors to its own company itself, I think today it would be like
a different position.
100%. Because in the racing world, they've dominated Le Mans, they've dominated GT racing since the 2000s. So it's really put them on the map globally.
Yeah. Interesting. And now Cadillac's running an F1 team.
Cadillac's running F1.
Yeah.
They're in WEC. They're here in IMSA.
Dan Tauris, who runs Gainbridge,
yes.
he's the like man behind all that, it sounds like.
Yeah.
I mean, he's an interesting guy. Kind of cool, though, to think Cadillac's got an F1 team.
That is amazing. I would have done Corvette because Corvette's a sports car, but I don't know GM's rationale behind that one.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't GM's totally their choice. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Yeah,
but fascinating. Well, it's tough time to be buying cars.
It is a tough time to be buying cars, especially collector cars.
Maybe it's a time to be a seller, right?
Yeah, I would be a seller in this market.
Yeah, fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay. So JR, question for you. These big auctions, these numbers, right?
Well, we just had Amelia Island wrap up with selling 62 cars for $111 million in total.
So a 500E for almost 400 grand. Okay, low mileage. I'm a 500E guy.
Correct.
Low mileage. Seinfeld owned it. 380 something. 380 with the juice. I don't know. Almost 400 grand with the juice. But like even before that, Mecum, right? And some of these BAT auctions. These are happening. This is transactions with cash. People are writing $17 million checks with cash, or $11 million checks with cash, or $400,000 500E with just cash. Is that what's happening?
That's a great question, and that's a question that people should be asking themselves. I know a lot of these sales where people bought multiples of cars were not cash; it was borrowed money, and I know some of the auction houses financed a lot of the sales. So that should raise the question.
So auction houses are actually providing financing.
Yes, Bright Arrow has their own financing. RM has their own financing. I believe Mecum has their own financing.
Okay. So it's interesting because in my side of the world, in wealth management, margin debt has never been higher. When you look out to all of the banks that are issuing, margin on securities, it's at an all-time high right now.
Currently today, yeah.
Right. So
we have
is that money getting into the car world?
Oh, absolutely. It's absolutely getting in the car world.
But we don't know. How do you know that?
You said to me years ago, when the cars were a third of what they are today.
Right.
JR, even though they're paying you cash, they're getting the money from somewhere. Like no one has, even my biggest client, who was big finance guy, and he's had some of the biggest, IPOs in the world. He speaks, I listen. He's like, JR, no one has a couple $1 million lying around on a checking account, and if they do, they're stupid. So they have to sell something to get the money, or borrow, because if they sell a stock, and they trigger a capital event because they have a tax and a capital gain. So they're going to have to borrow against the security to pay us for a car.
Well, they might have cash.
They may have cash, but
I mean, people have cash.
They do.
But on the other hand, they like to put cash into yielding instruments or hedge funds or things
where they're going to make money.
Now they're making money on cars.
Yeah, but these are just parked money.
Are they? This is my question to you. Are we really all making money on cars, or is this like the dog that didn't bark? Is there like something going on here? I'm not saying that I don't believe these numbers or that there's scandals and things, but like you got to ask yourself. Like I'm not in the business like you are. I'm in the investment business, which is we have a lot of clients that invest in cars. It just seems like let's look at the Enzo prices, right? They were at like
5.5 million.
4, 5.5, and then they just skipped the whole rest of it.
They did.
And now they're 10, 12, 17
at the auction, not the private world.
Okay, so what do you mean what do you mean by that?
We're only seeing these prices in an auction environment. We're not seeing these prices in this independent market. Like let me back up. Let's slow down here, right? Let's level set. Yeah.
So in theory, if someone's paying $11 million for an Enzo that is not the Bachmann car, but still a great example, why would there be any Enzos anywhere else that are for sale for less than that? Like that's not an efficient market.
Because the new money that's coming into this that isn't that intelligent, they want to have buyer affirmation where they see someone in another row putting their hand up.
Right, but that doesn't make sense. As an investor, that makes no sense. If I can go to a dealer and there's an Enzo sitting there and it's priced at X, say, less than 11 million, very low miles, great color combination, documented history, classic K, all that stuff. and that car is not selling or languishing, that doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't make any sense.
So it has to be at a live auction to get those prices?
Yes.
Explain that to me.
So, we're seeing that a lot of the big cars, and I talk to a lot of traders in the industry, multiple times a day, and both coasts. One of them is right down the road from us in Miami, and talk to them every day. And we're all seeing the same thing. We're not seeing this feverish activity in the private market that we're seeing at auctions.
Does that bear any correlation with history, where there are periods of time where all these cars traded, but they didn't trade privately? People only want to be seen at Pebble buying cars in an Amelia and jumping up and down at Barrett Jackson, like you see, where people had way too much to drink.
Yeah, you've seen it. Yeah, we've seen it before. But we've had some of the biggest transfer of wealth occurring as we speak, from the baby boomer generation,
for sure,
on down to the kids and grandkids.
But why would someone want to pay? Like, is there a Ferrari Enzo out there that I could buy that's as good as the car that traded?
Yes.
Right now, and I could buy it for less?
Yes.
So why isn't it selling? That's not an efficient
It makes
market.
no sense. It makes no sense to myself and other traders in the industry.
Well, to me, it says there's fraud or something going on.
Yeah.
Like, are those real prices? Like, do we know, like, when BAT sells, and it's like to bring BAT in here, if BAT sells a car, right, and the price hits the thing and bang, there it is, do we know, did that transaction actually happen?
Well,
or would the car go back on the auction block if it didn't get, if there was like a no trade, no sale?
Here's my biggest thing I've said about Bring a Trailer is Bring a Trailer has no knowledge if the transaction actually happens. They don't collect any money. They don't collect the title. I could be selling a car.
Well, they get a fee.
And they just get the fee, but you could send me the money and say, you know what, you're bidding on my car, you pay the fee, and we'll just prop up a market.
Oh, okay. So what you're saying is like 1920s stock market stuff.
Correct.
With no SEC involved.
Yeah.
No regulation.
The collector car
can,
market,
like, create a false market.
Yeah, the collector car market, and I'd say the art world, is the two largest markets that I know of that are totally 100% unregulated.
Yeah.
I mean, we're a dealer. We have a dealer's license. We have a building. We have insurance.
Right.
But there are so many. One of my old mentors called them telephone jockeys, telephone brokers. That all you need today is a cell phone and an internet connection. And I don't know why some of these guys with money would even deal with these people. But if they could save like $5,000 or $10,000, $100,000, they'll deal with them. And a lot of times, and you're seeing it now, I get my own cars offered back to me by brokers. It's crazy. And you're seeing it. You're seeing when markets like this, where there's a lot of feverishness, a lot of excitement, a lot of euphoria, it's ripe for fraud.
And a lot of leverage, potentially.
Yeah.
Although we don't know what the leverage looks like. Right?
Correct.
We don't know.
But if you're seeing margin debt at all-time high, it's a telling sign in general.
Well, yes, it is, but we don't know how much that margin debt is going towards a house in Greenwich or in Palm Beach or wherever.
Correct.
Versus of F40.
Correct.
But
F40 prices now?
I'd be curious, what's going on with like Broad Arrow's finance arm? Like, how active are they? What are they underwriting?
Yeah,
like,
I don't think I'd have to look at you would know, and look at their next earnings call. I'd see how much they disclose or how much they've written.
I don't. Is Broad Arrow wholly owned by Hagerty? I don't know if in there. I haven't done the work on Hagerty's publicly traded stock to go down into the weeds to see if they'll break out, details about
Correct.
the Broad Arrow business. I don't know.
Yeah, but I think it's definitely something to look at when there's cars in the private market that are better than what's trading at auction that are sitting on the market.
Okay, let me ask you this. What's the most valuable F40 that ever changed hands publicly?
Publicly?
Yeah.
Was one that just sold last week for at Moda 2 weeks ago.
Oh, Moda, right. I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one of our cars that we had sold. And that car sold. We sold that car in 2024 in April. And that car just sold for $5.25 million.
Okay, 5.25. So here's my question as like an investor. Should I go out and buy an F40 now of similar quality, similar mileage? They're only in one color, right? So you don't have that effect that you have with a yellow Enzo.
Correct.
All Enzo,
F40s are all red.
F40s are all red. But like how, like as an investor, should I say, hey, I got a great car, I'll pay 5, 6 for it and hope that like...
In the hopes it's going to be worth?
Right, because this was a car, if you look at the sports car market cover, which I brought to your office the other day, they had one on the cover in
2021.
Was it 21?
21, yeah.
For $1 million.
Yeah.
Now that car had miles, it was not the same like car, but
that car today
it was on the cover of Sports Car Market selling for $1 million bucks, which was a big deal then.
That car today is going to be advertised for $3 million bucks.
Right, but what I'm getting at is like, is there a greater fool theory here, or is there real value here, and are these transactions real?
Outside of the stuff that we transact and know of, I mean, I can't speak for some of these other transactions to see if they're even real.
But it's the market is, it just feel, I don't know because I'm not in the, it feels to me like these prices are distorted.
They are.
Now maybe they're distorted because the Fed kept rates at 0 for over a decade.
Yep.
Right, so you had misallocated capital going into projects that had negative NPVs, but nobody cared.
Correct.
Right, negative net present value, or not a good investment. Maybe that money, you know, and a lag effect is making its way into the car market, and people feel that an Enzo at over $5 million is a buy. It's cheap. Is it cheap?
Well, that happened with LaFerraris. In the beginning of the year, I said to our investors, I'm like, you know what, right now, after Mecum, I said the LaFerrari seems like the best value play of all of them. Because outside of the Enzos that were in the U.S., you weren't bringing them in anymore with the tariffs.
Right, so you got to deal with cars that are here now.
The best buy, and they were trading in the high 4s, low 5s, and you know, retailing in the mid to high 5s. That market has gone up $1 million to $2 million in the past 60 days.
So it's sort of like what the Pista market's done.
Yeah.
Right? Like
absolutely.
Those cars are crazy
Pistas, Citroen's. Now, a lot of that is a trade-down effect, okay? People that got priced out of the other cars.
Right.
I mean, it wasn't that long ago. I mean, it feels like it was yesterday. An F40 at $2 million.
It was all the money.
It was all the money for the best one in the world, and that was during COVID. So 6 short years ago. But I think a lot of it is the trade-down effect where the Halo cars went up so much, and people are like, okay, I could spend that. I don't feel comfortable having that much liquidity in one asset.
But on the other hand, though, right, like if we were sitting here having this conversation in March of 2020, and we had a bar of gold, you know, an ounce of gold on the table, it was worth $1,500. It's now worth $4,500, $4,600. It was
high as $5,500.
It came down a lot yesterday. But so it's the same bar of gold, right?
Yeah.
It's now worth $5,000. Let's just round up.
Correct.
And it was worth $1,500. So does the dollar debasement situation play in here?
I think it is, and I think it does play in here because you are seeing people want to go to hard assets, and where is my money going to be stable? And let's face it, car prices aren't fluctuating by the day, but you know we're now just in our early stages in Iran conflict. Who knows if this could be some long protracted war? We don't know. Oil's already up 40% this year. We're hovering at $100 a barrel.
But what I'm getting at is interesting because like an F40, right, is not a static ounce of gold.
No.
An ounce of gold doesn't need maintenance. It just needs to be stored somewhere safe, which there's a cost to that, right?
Yeah.
But an F40, like if you left an F40 alone for 5 years, you're going to have a big bill.
You're going to have a $200,000 service bill.
Right.
Yeah.
So these cars have a shelf life in a sense. Like they're deteriorating assets every day, and they need
maintenance,
care and feeding.
Yeah, they do.
Like a horse.
So, you would know exactly.
I would know, right? But not as expensive as a horse.
No.
But this idea the same. So it almost seems to me like prices seem mind-boggling. Like I can't get my head around the prices. But is gold at 5,000 ounce mind-boggling too? So is there a larger problem here? Forget about what might be going on behind the scenes with, you know, borrowing money and having a fictitious market or whatever could be going on. We don't know. We don't have evidence. But dollar debasement trade.
Absolutely. I think we're seeing that. And you're seeing it in Palm Beach real estate here. Mm-hmm. You're seeing it in, you know, where there's these tax havens, and I think you're obviously seeing it in cars because the guys at that level have excess capital that they want to put to work. And I think you're also seeing some of them get taken advantage of as well. Mm-hmm. And a lot of these auction houses know it.
Right, but also a lot of the buyers aren't educated, so
No, they're not.
their view on quality,
Correct.
where we get in the weeds on like getting to that next level, which is crucial. Like, so for example, if you don't have the luggage set for a particular Ferrari,
Correct.
or you don't have the right invoices, the proper provenance, all this stuff, some of those buyers don't care about that stuff.
And we're seeing it in our world,
Or don't know
like the
about it.
traders that like know that we've passed on a car, and then you see a year later it ends up at an auction, and you pass it at this level, and then it sells up here. You're saying to yourself, okay, well, if someone's willing to pay that much, my car that I have is a better example. My car should be worth here.
Right.
But is it really?
Well, that's a public auction versus a private sale too.
Yeah.
So it almost seems to me is like, if I was in the market buying multi-million-dollar Ferraris, wouldn't you rather be in a private situation where
You're always better off because you could do your due diligence, you could do your homework, you could have someone look at the car that's a market expert. You'd be surprised the amount of people that buy a car at auction and don't see it outside of it going up and down the ramp.
Well, what is this video that's on Instagram? Have you seen this?
Oh, yes.
The guy's at the bar. Literally, he's buying a LaFerrari.
The black LaFerrari at RM.
Right, and he's at the bar, and he's got a big margarita, and he's looking at it, and he's bidding from the bar, 6.1, whatever.
Then he ups his price.
But he asks a question when he ups
after
the
he's
price.
already been bidding.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, is that
This is not smart money. It's not smart money in the market.
Right. Yeah. Smart money would be buying the Enzo that's sitting somewhere in South Florida for sale in a
Correct.
showroom for $7 million, not 11 at an auction. Now again, like, is it the same car?
Correct.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Assuming all things being equal.
Correct.
Complicated.
No.
So you got macro forces, you've got behind the scenes stuff maybe going on. You don't know what actually transacts on BAT, if it's truly real.
You don't know.
I mean,
you want to know something?
I don't know how they audit
I'm
that.
just going to say it. I think a third of the sales are bullshit. I think a third of the sales on there are totally bogus.
really?
And I think it's a bunch of people propping up a market. There's an analysis. I sent you an article.
You're going on the record here. You're hearing it here first.
There's an article that I sent you. This guy
on Renlist.
Yeah. He did what I've talked about, just didn't make the time to do it.
Yeah.
He tracked VIN numbers. He went to, okay,
Right.
where was this car sold new from? Okay, let me go on Carfax. Where was the first owner from? Oh, he's buying it. He's buying this allocation from this dealer, selling it, bring a trailer. Then the dealer's buying the car back. Now the dealer is putting on the pack, okay, and marking the car up, because they can't do that on a car that's brand new, but they could do it on a used car that's new. They could add on and have, a line item.
So in that case, the car doesn't really sell.
Correct.
But
Yeah.
it creates an illusion
Absolutely.
of a higher price.
Yeah. So we're in a very weird market. I talked to another friend of mine that's a partner at a Ferrari store yesterday, and deals in the same cars I deal in, and even more broad scope, because he's got a bigger dealership to feed. And we both said it's a very tough, challenging market. You can't buy anything because the sellers think auction prices with the fees are the retail price. You can't sell anything.
An F40 owner isn't selling right now.
They want auction prices plus.
It's kind of like Bitcoin.
Yeah.
No one wants to sell Bitcoin because they think it's going back to 100,000.
Correct. And it's hard to buy anything, right, and sell anything, because to sell something, the buyers, and these guys have money. They're like, wow, I'm trying to process. You talked to me in November, prices were here. Now they're in January they were here. Now you're telling me they're here. What happened?
They're step functions. It's not incremental.
No.
These are like the Enzo skipped 5 million to 10 and went right to 11.
Correct.
And then 18.
And you're seeing it with other cars. Challenge Stradales a year ago, they were $350,000. Now they're 800 plus.
It's unbelievable.
Some in the mid-millions.
But like you said, though, that could be a lot of people trading down.
It's trading down.
If you're getting
closed
out of a market.
How much function, right? What's the percentage of people trading down to really justify it? I don't know the answer to that. You'd have to really, I don't know if that's even
How many of those cars
justifiable.
are out there? Are they that rare? I mean, Ferraris aren't rare anymore. They're building thousands of cars.
The new ones are becoming less rare because there's more Ferrari stores, there's more VIPs, there's more top clients.
Right.
But I did hear this fact. I did hear this fact about the F80 from a GM at a Ferrari store. There are 200 people on the wait list for the F80, which is a lot. I thought...
How many are they building?
I'd have to go look. I think they're building... Well, they're coming out with the Spiders this year. I think the number was like 799.
Still a lot of cars.
A fair bit compared to a 288 where there's only 272.
Right.
So, but still less than an F40 where they built 1,314 of them. But, you know, there's that much more new money, that many people. So when the person decides they don't want to play the game anymore, there's another 199 people behind them for now. But again, I look at outside factors in the car world, outside of the car world.
Interest rates.
Yeah, interest rates.
Look what's going on with the 10-year.
Yeah.
Right? We are selling more and more T-bills, and we're languishing the long end of the curve.
Correct.
So that's not great long term for the 10-year.
We have a new Fed chair coming in. Our president wants to see low interest rates.
But he also wants the dollar to be down.
Correct. He thinks for exports. But we have all these tariffs in place. And again, a lot of people still don't understand the magnitude and the implications and how tariffs work. And we saw it, and I've seen it just talking to even contractors that I've had hired to do work.
Oh, yeah.
They're really misinformed. Oh, other countries are paying for it. I'm like, well, no. I said, let me tell you a real-life example. I tell them about us buying a car. I said, I have to pass that cost. I can't absorb it. I have to pass it along to you, the buyer.
Yep.
And that's happening with construction goods, with anything.
Yeah.
So I think now you're going to see a bigger effect. We really have this K-shaped economy that, I've talked about, you've talked about it.
Yeah.
You either have money or you don't.
Well, and it's more than that. You have money and you're making a lot more money.
Correct.
Or you don't have money and you don't own paper assets and you don't own real estate and you're paying higher rent and higher food and higher energy prices.
Yeah.
That's a problem. That's like 1789 French Revolution, powder keg situation.
And what this marginal buyer that the blue collared, middle income buyer, I was just telling a colleague of mine yesterday, that guy was important at the auction because on a car that was going to go for, say, $500,000, he would drive that marginal buyer, that middle America buyer, would drive that car from 150 to 300 and not even realize it. He's now gone. Okay, and a $1 million car, he would drive that thing from 100 all the way up to 700 and not even realize it. Because when you're in the auction mania and the hoopla and all this stuff, it's pretty easy to get sucked in and you don't even realize.
It's human psychology.
Correct. So.
And add alcohol.
Yeah, but you're seeing that marginal guy is gone. He's now in the lower portion of the K. So that's impacting lower car prices.
He's buying like a Challenger.
Hellcat.
Hellcat.
Yeah,
thing, right,
or was buying a muscle car.
Right.
I mean, look, I saw this in the early mid-2000s of muscle cars. I mean, that's, for those who know, I grew up around muscle cars my whole life. So
you know them well.
And, you saw that stuff happen. Those cars got a bid around COVID because, people thought they were going to die and they wanted to get something before they died if they died of COVID. And now you're seeing that stuff, that demographic is aging out. So, but that middle America buyer is gone. And I'm selling, the cars we sell to the guys up here that have a ton of excess capital. And the smart money is, they're looking and they're asking me, hey, what do you think this is? They don't mind overpaying if I tell them, hey, this is a really good example for this reason.
No, that end of the market
owner
actually has no problem overpaying for the best.
For the best.
Because you'll always be able to sell the best and they're thinking of a balance sheet asset.
Correct. But when I see speculators or someone trying to ride the elevator up, and they're going to say let's say they're buying a 40,000 kilometer F40 for $3 million, I think that's crazy because when the market does go out, which it will go out, it's a matter of when. Right. When the market does go out, the investment car that was 5 maybe goes to like 4.7, 4.8. But the car that they paid $3 million for at 40,000 kilometers, I think goes down to 1.5.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Because no smart money is going to want that car. They say, well, I want the best of the best. Right. Especially if there's 1,300 examples. I want the best example. Right. So those
makes total sense.
The investment cars go down less. Yep. It's like a stock, right? You have the GE's not going anywhere. Right. Johnson & Johnson's not going anywhere. But a highly speculative stock goes out. That's highly
you're
leveraged.
Seeing it a lot in these quantum stocks that are trading at crazy multiples that don't have a lot of revenue or any revenue, but they're speculative.
Yeah.
And they could be huge, but we don't know.
Yeah. So I think, we've talked about the debt in the country. There's a lot of headwinds, and we have some tailwinds. Like I said to you, we have the tailwinds, the positive forces, transfer of wealth, biggest transfer of wealth creation, passing down. I also think we're in a time period where, like, we have a son, 17. I don't think this generation of kids that's my son's age or younger, the next one down, I think this will be the first time in history that generation does not out-earn their parents, meaning like Maris and I, or like your kids. I don't think our kids will out-earn us.
Yeah.
It'd be the first time in history. So I think...
Don't forget the big, beautiful bill. Highly stimulative. Unbelievably stimulative.
Which is going to create what? More inflation.
Well, in theory, it should create more growth, right? But it's also going to add debt to the pile. Like, estimates range, from 4 trillion to 8 trillion, depending on what happens. But it's not cutting costs in the government. But it's giving huge incentives in depreciation for businesses. I mean, it's extremely positive. It's pro-growth.
Correct.
So you have that, which is a positive or a negative. There are people who are on both sides of that. Yeah. For sure.
But I really think, I just looked up this morning, Philip. So we're printing around $40 trillion a week. And to date, we've...
40 billion.
40 billion, sorry.
Yeah. This is a problem.
Yeah.
This is a problem. We never used the word trillion before, and now we throw it around like, Walmart, literally, Walmart just became a $1 trillion company a few weeks ago. Walmart, okay? A great business.
Correct.
Amazing. We own it in our portfolios. Yeah. Is it worth 40 trillion? Is it worth $1 trillion, right? And you even get confused between a billion and a trillion. Now, just for to level set, $1 trillion is 1,000 billion the last time I checked.
Yeah.
That's like a number that makes no sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
You can't get your head around it.
We've serviced $433 billion worth of debt just this year to date.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the math is, and Jason Trennert, who's on our board at Hollow Brook, went through this today on our board meeting, that, it took 232 years for America to amass $10 trillion of debt. 232 years.
Wow.
We're now at 39 trillion since 2010, right?
Wow.
We went up that much. And we're running a $1 trillion deficit every 6 months on average.
Correct.
So on top of all the refinancing we have, right? So there's just trillions and trillions and trillions. It's like a runaway train.
Yeah. So how does that impact the car market, to land the plane here? On the positive side, the money needs a place to park, right? Money has to go somewhere. It's going into hard assets.
Mm-hmm. Dollar debasement, people are worried. Gold is up.
But I also feel like we've overshot to the upside.
Right.
On everything across the board.
Right.
And I think we are seeing fraud. I think we are seeing abuse. I really do. Mm-hmm. And I'm not afraid to say it. Many other dealers aren't going to say it. I tell it like it is. I mean, see, the thing is, 99% of the dealers, they only know the car industry because that's all they've known.
Right, but what you're saying is you're not accusing anyone of anything.
No.
You're just saying my observations of the market
This is what I see.
Something's got to be going on here.
Something has to be going on.
Right. It doesn't, that dog won't hunt. Right?
Yeah. We can't have asset prices overnight from December to January skyrocket. Look, I know of a dealer, okay, that has, call it a dozen Ferraris of one certain model that came out in 2014. And they've had them. I don't know any of those sold. And when the market was $1.2 million, they were asking $1.7 million. When the market was $1.7 million, they were asking $2.2 million. When the market's at 2.2, they're asking 2.7. Now,
but there are better examples.
But they haven't sold any, and some cars were at auction that didn't sell. So, what is the play there? We've looked at some TDFs for some clients, and these are clients that are smart money, and they run some of the biggest asset managers of the world. Smart money. When they talk, I listen.
Right.
And they're like, Jerry, I'm not paying that price. They have the money; they could absolutely afford to.
Right.
They're like, yeah, I'm not paying that. There's no way that car's worth that. Call me in a year when it's half.
But it's back to full circle. I still don't understand this because in my world, right, if there's value to be had, you follow that and execute on that.
Correct.
Right? But if there's an Enzo that's sitting somewhere that's for sale, and there's an auction strike price of 11 million, then maybe and this is a fictitious car. I'm saying I don't know if are there any Enzos for sale privately?
There are some, there are some.
So to me, it would say there shouldn't be any.
Theoretically speaking, no, there shouldn't be any.
Because if you could buy them cheaper than 11 million, assuming it's a good example, then you're getting a deal.
Correct.
So, I don't understand that, but Okay,
I think it's
your business. I
think it's to your point.
It's not an efficient market, is what you're saying.
Correct. And I think to your point, be aware of the dog that didn't bark.
Right. Yeah. Be aware of the dog that didn't bark. Well, we'll leave you with that.
Yeah. So until next time, but it's a very challenging time in the collector car market if you're, and especially if you're putting new money to work.
Well, it's the same thing in the investment management
Correct.
business, right? The bond market, the gold market, the stock market, everything's going like
I'll
that.
tell you different stories.
Well, they're sort of all telling you the same story. They're just going higher.
Correct.
Valuations are going up, up, and up in the face of, the last 3 weeks are a little different with the war starting, but it's tough.
And I think
it's very tough. Tough to know what to do.
My opinion is I think at Pebble Beach, prices will be lower than they are today. That's my opinion. There's no auctions in the U.S. until Pebble Beach. The next big auction is really during Villa d'Este. So I think a lot of the feverishness and exuberance will quiet down. I think people will get back to the drawing board, back to the notebook, and they're going to say, okay, what happened? Let me digest.
Okay, let me put it this way. If an Enzo that was better than the Bachmann car, if Rob Myers gets that car to sell at Pebble, and it's better, it's instead of 28 miles, it's 24 miles, right? And instead of this, it's got that. Is it going to sell more? For more than, what did it sell for? 17?
The Bachmann, yeah, 17, yeah.
Okay, is someone going to now bid that car to 19 million?
I don't think so.
Yeah, interesting.
And
well,
I think
time will tell. We'll find out.
Absolutely. Until next time.
Thanks.